name is Kathryn Krase. I'm a lawyer, social worker, educator, and expert on the reporting of suspected child abuse and neglect. In this short video, I'd like to provide you with important information about the role of mandated reporters. This video is a project of Making the Tough Call. To find out more about Making the Tough Call, including trainings and resources, check out our website at makingthetoughcall.info. Many professionals across the United States know that they are mandated reporters. But what does mandated reporting mean? The term mandated reporting refers to the legal obligation of certain individuals to report suspicions of maltreatment to governmental authorities. Most often, we hear about mandated reporting of suspected child abuse and neglect. Another form of mandated reporting relates to suspicions of physical and financial abuse of older adults, otherwise known as elder abuse. Mandated reporting of elder abuse is less common than laws that require the reporting of suspicions of child maltreatment. Mandated reporting laws vary from state to state, but in general, professionals who are likely to come in contact with children and their families are mandated reporters of suspected child maltreatment. In all states, the list of mandated reporters includes doctors, nurses, teachers, mental health providers, and social workers, though there are many others as well. In some states, all adults are mandated reporters, regardless of whether they fill one of these professional roles. We call these states universal reporting states. As of 2021, these states include Delaware, Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. In the rest of the states, there's a list of professional titles that delineates who is a mandated reporter. How do I know if I'm a mandated reporter? To find out if you are a mandated reporter in your state, you can check out this website from the Child Welfare Gateway. They also have helpful resources to inform you about the law around mandated reporting in your particular state. You may be wondering, where did the idea of mandated reporting come from anyway? Prior to the 1870s, there was very little involvement of the government into what happened in a family. Parents largely had control over the care of their children, for better and for worse. Starting with the abuse case of Mary Ellen Wilson in New York City in 1875, systems were developed to prevent and respond to child abuse so that children could be protected. From the 1880s until the 1960s, a system of private organizations received reports of suspected child abuse, investigated such reports, and were authorized to remove children into orphanages or foster care to protect them from physical abuse at the hands of their parents. The cases usually involved poor children from impoverished families. In the early 1960s, doctors realized that poor children weren't the only victims of child abuse. A doctor named C. Henry Kemp coined a term to describe a child who had suffered repeated abuse. He published this term in a 1962 article in the Journal of the American Medical Association. That child was said to be a victim of battered child syndrome. Concern for battered children resulted in the development of government intervention to protect children from abuse. One of the first related policies in this new system of intervention was mandated reporting. The idea behind the first mandated reporting law was that if society could require professionals who have substantial contact with children and families to report suspected child maltreatment, the government can step in and protect children before they are irreversibly harmed. By 1967, all 50 states and the District of Columbia passed legislation requiring doctors and other medical personnel to report suspected child maltreatment. Within 5 years after passing mandatory reporting legislation in my home state of New York, child fatalities dropped by 50%. Mandated reporting laws seem to be working. In that same time frame, the federal government passed the first universal child welfare law, the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act of 1974, or CAPTA. CAPTA is an expansive law that is still in effect today, with many modifications. Amongst many other provisions, CAPTA provided for a relative level of uniformity in mandated reporting laws across the country, while simultaneously creating the Child Protective Services System, or CPS, that still exists today. The list of who is a mandated reporter and what is reportable has grown since 1974. And the child welfare system is a lot bigger than anyone in the 1960s would have suspected it would become. What do you need to know about mandated reporting? Most mandated reporters are confused about their role. Many mandated reporters don't know what they're supposed to be looking out for. They don't know what they're supposed to do if they have suspicions. They're concerned about making a bad report. They're concerned that they'll get in trouble if they're wrong. If you are a mandated reporter, you should learn about what the different types of child maltreatment are and what indicators to look for if you have concerns about a child. And even more importantly, you should learn about what is not child maltreatment so that you don't make unnecessary reports. Sometimes the concerns of mandated reporters are just that, concerns. And there might be other things you can do to help a child and their family than making a report. There are pros and cons to mandated reporting. The main pro is that children in harm's way, specifically children who are victims of physical and sexual abuse, are more likely to be identified and protected than before mandated reporting laws existed. But there are cons as well. More than 2/3 of reports that get made to Child Protective Services are not supported by evidence after investigation. This suggests that there are lots of concerned mandated reporters out there who are calling Child Protective Services, but the families don't need that level of intervention. In cases where the mandated reporter suspects that a child has been maltreated or is in imminent danger of being maltreated, they're legally obligated to make a report to Child Protective Services. In cases where a report isn't required by law, a mandated reporter could instead help a family find helpful resources or other assistance instead. All reporters should realize that while we want to protect children, we also need to understand families. Not every family is in an ideal situation. If you determine that you are required to make a report, or not, you can still offer assistance and resource information to a family. You can look to community resources for referrals for food assistance, income and employment support, free medical care, and affordable child care, for instance. Mandated reporters were chosen because of their professional access to children and families. The relationships of mandated reporters to children and families, along with their professional skills, can be helpful to families with or without a report. For more information about mandated reporting, including resources, training, and consultation information, check out our website at www.makingthetoughcall.info or email us at ask@makingthetoughcall.info. Thanks for watching!